That's funny. I didn't realize that.
What?
The guy who plays Wong, his name is Benedict Wong.
Yeah.
Wong is Wong. That's fun. I'm sure he probably makes jokes about that on set.
Oh, I'm sure. Exploder Man.
You know, he shows up. Looks like you got the wrong guy. Finger guns.
Finger guns.
And then everyone sighs.
Filibuster!
Okay, let's. Bop.
Bop.
Yep. Bop.
Hey!
Welcome
Welcome to Filibuster.
Buster. Oh, we got to work on that.
I am John.
I'm Mike.
He is Mike.
He is John.
I'm John.
I'm Mike.
Yes.
Welcome to Filibuster.
Yeah. Welcome back. If it's your first time listening, welcome.
Yeah, and welcome to a new year. Happy New Year, everyone.
If it's not your first time listening, welcome back, as I already said.
Yes, welcome back.
Because
I'm Mike.
this is not scripted.
That's John.
Yeah. Freestyle. Freestyle. No. Okay, so, yeah, we are talking about Spider-Man No Way Home.
No Way Home. And ain't that the truth?
Yes, the third film of Tom Holland's Spider-Man.
Yeah. Standalone. His films, yeah.
Yes. Standalone film.
And what the fuck?
What do you mean, what the fuck?
That was crazy.
It was absolutely amazing.
What the fuck? It was like every bit of me was a child again for 2.5 hours.
Oh, totally.
It was great.
Totally.
You know what I did? Before we left to the theater, first thing I did is I put on a song for Aria, and she's like, "What song is this?" And I was like, "Just wait." And I queued it up, and it was I am so high, I can see heaven. And they say that a hero could save us. I'm not gonna stand here and wait. And I played that for her. I was like, just in case he does pop up in this movie, I need this song right now.
Yeah.
And he did! Toby!
Yes. Okay. Well, all right. Obviously, we're going to be talking about this movie in somewhat depth.
Spoilers. Sorry.
Basically, it's going to be spoilers. Come on. Don't be stupid. Don't be stupid. Mm-hmm. Just, hey, you.
I'll put spoilers on the front.
All right. There's going to be spoilers, obviously, and that's one of them.
Yeah.
But to be okay, I'm going to be completely honest. So I didn't see this movie until like what 2.5 weeks after it came out. Must have been
because I saw it 2 weeks after it came out.
Oh, okay. So maybe even 3 weeks after it came out.
Yeah, dude, I had to go on a media blackout for those 2 weeks.
See, that's the thing. I didn't. Because I'm addicted.
I have a problem.
I have an addiction to Instagram. So because of that, naturally, I knew going into this film that Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield were going to be in it.
Yeah,
I knew they were going to be in it. It's literally impossible to avoid spoilers
if you're on
the interwebs.
Internet, yeah,
you know, especially with stuff like Instagram, because when you're doing like the search feed.
Oh yeah, totally.
Like literally, the thumbnail is like all three of them just standing together. You know, and like all that. Like, okay, well, all right.
Man, you knew it was going to happen, but you know what you didn't know was going to happen? Sorry, guys, we're excited because this is an exciting movie. You didn't know Matt Murdock was going to show up.
Dude! Oh, I think I might have spiked my mic on.
Hell yeah, you did.
No, I didn't. Haha, I did not. Okay, all right. So that was a cameo that did not get spoiled.
No.
So when that happened, I was literally like jabbing my elbow into Miranda's arm of just like, oh my god,
look what it is.
Oh my god. Because we haven't watched all of Daredevil because there's 3 seasons, right? And there's also Defenders. I think.
Yeah, Defenders, if it's still even up. I don't even know if Defenders is going to be canon, though.
Okay. But nonetheless, so we've been watching Daredevil, but we're not through all 3 seasons, so we're familiar with the new Daredevil, because obviously before him was Ben Affleck.
A long time ago.
Which wasn't a horrendous film, but, you know.
It wasn't great.
Things have gotten better since then. That's a review for another time. Anyways, but yeah, so Charlie Cox is the new Matt Murdock, and Oh man! So we both were looking
Yeah.
at each other like, "Oh my god!" You know, because I even told her too of like, yeah, like they definitely know each other because they both have a lot of fights with Kingpin.
Yeah, totally.
Like Kingpin is an arch nemesis to both Spider-Man and Daredevil.
And they're
you
both
know?
In their friendly neighborhood Spider-Man and Hell's Kitchen. Like,
yeah, they're right next to each other.
Yeah.
They're right around the corner from one another. So yeah, in the comics and in shows and all that, they definitely they know each other all
quite
right?
well. And it's always something that I've always wanted to see on the big screen, man. I remember back when Ben Affleck was there, and it was with and Tobey Maguire was still Peter Parker, and I was like, oh, I really hope they're together in a movie. But Daredevil flopped so hard.
Yeah, unfortunately.
But it was like, man, I've been wanting to see that for years.
Right.
So
and
seeing
now it's starting to come together.
Man.
Obviously, Daredevil, the superhero, does not actually show up in this film.
No.
It's just Matt Murdock being the lawyer.
Yeah, and he does that. He catches the brick.
Oh man, I just had a shitty grin the moment that scene happened.
Yeah,
catches it. How did you do that? I'm a really good lawyer.
Well, part of me was like, I really don't want him to like just make an appearance and not do anything. So that was perfect.
Right.
That means, he's in the MCU. And have you seen Hawkeye yet?
No, I have not actually.
You got anything spoiled for you?
Like
who shows up? What characters show up?
No.
Okay, then I won't say anything.
I don't know anything.
Wink,
about
wink to
Hawkeye.
the audience who understands what I'm talking about here.
You know what? I will start watching it later today.
Okay.
How about that?
It's not great, but
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, maybe
well,
I
I
won't
probably
watch
pissed
it.
off a lot of people.
No,
but
I
people
should
liked
I
it.
should probably watch it though.
Yeah,
Because
you should
maybe
watch
it'll.
it.
Okay,
You should watch it. It was good. It was good. It was good. For the most part, it was good.
gotcha. But yeah, that was such a great scene, and it was a nice introduction between the two of them too. Because obviously, like clearly, Matt Murdock knows Peter Parker is Spider-Man. He's like, oh, so you're a fellow mutant. You're a fellow superhero. Like. I too am a superhero. He doesn't say that, but he clearly demonstrates it.
Yeah, he knows. He
Like
knows.
catching the brick like that. Like obviously Peter's like, okay, this isn't a normal person.
Yeah, and he's got Spidey sense and shit too. He probably knows.
Yeah.
And it was nice little like, I see you moment.
Yes.
It was
exactly.
freaking rad.
Exactly. Oh man, that cameo was like 10 out of 10.
It was
10
the
out
most
of 10
exciting
cameo.
part of the movie.
It didn't
for me.
overstay its welcome.
Nope.
It got the point across.
Yep.
And shout out to Charlie Cox because I think he's a phenomenal actor, especially with this character of Matt Murdock.
Making Daredevil come alive, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
I really look forward to what this dude does. And next step, all right, so we got Charlie Cox in there. Next step, get John Bernthal in there. We need the Punisher to
he
show up.
did a great job at the Punisher.
We need John Bernthal in there now, all
He
right?
was so good at the Punisher,
Come on.
man. He was perfect.
Come on.
Come on.
Make it happen.
Come on, Marvel, you fucks.
He deserves it.
He does
I think.
deserve it. John Bernthal
But
is awesome.
yeah, so that cameo was phenomenal. And of course, obviously, we knew basically all the villains that were going to show up in this film.
Yeah, it was pretty... they didn't
pretty-
really hold their punches on a lot of the trailers.
Yeah. They made it very clear. We got Willem Dafoe reprising his role as the Green Goblin. We got Thomas Hayden?
Thomas Hayden Church.
Oh, Hayden Church. Okay.
Yeah, and-
returning as Sandman. We've got Alfred Molina.
Oh, man, Doc Ock.
God bless this man.
Dude, he's... He didn't phone in. The thing about these actors that I love to see when they came back in, and Jamie Foxx. Sorry, I interrupted you.
Well, I mean, Jamie Foxx and also Reese Ifans.
Right,
Ifans. I'm sorry, I can't pronounce your name properly. All right,
Yeah,
I'm a
and
dumb
he's-
American.
And he's, mostly a lizard anyway. So, but the thing about these characters when they came back, none of these people were just acting like they were there for a paycheck.
Yeah.
Literally, everyone came back and brought their game.
Yes,
man.
exactly.
It was
exactly.
It was so cool.
Obviously, there was, I would say that Lizard Man and Sandman were definitely put more on the back burner compared to the others. If I was to say like a tier list of importance, I would definitely have Willem Dafoe and Doc Ock are
Up
like
there, yeah.
at the top.
Totally.
They were definitely like the two most focused on villains in this.
Yeah.
Right behind them though is Jamie Foxx.
Yeah. He
or
takes
Electro.
a pretty big role in this movie. Actually.
Yeah, and then right underneath them would be Lizard Man, Sandman.
Yeah.
But that's not to say that they don't do anything. They definitely do plenty of
Yeah,
stuff.
totally.
They're very much involved in this film. Even like with their character arcs too.
Yeah.
Like they remain true to when you last saw them.
Yeah. Yeah. And man, like, I don't know, like, and way to roll with the punches. Like, this is a shot very differently. It has a very different vibe than the Amazing Spider-Man and the Spider-Man
Sam Raimi
version.
Yep.
With the jokes, with the quips, with the whatever, and all these actors jumped right in, and they did well. Alfred Molina, like, I didn't think he would fit in so well to this universe, but he just did great.
Oh man, he did, like.
The biggest issue here is I don't get to see him again.
I know. Maybe. You never know.
Who knows, man?
You never know. But yeah, and yes, they did some. You could tell they obviously did some de-aging on Alfred Molina, but it's like, I'm going to be completely honest. You can't really even tell.
Honestly.
Obviously when you hold up, what he looks like today, and then go watch the film, you're going to be like, okay, yeah, they de-aged him, but honestly, it looks normal. It doesn't look awkward. It's it's not like It Chapter 2 where they had to de-age the kids,
right,
and all that, where it's like really obvious, like they don't look like this.
Yeah, or even what's his face? What's in the Marvel movie? In Captain Marvel, they had to de-age. What's the
Samuel.
Yeah,
well, they had to do Sam Jackson,
but he looked better than his partner. Who was his partner's name? I always forget his name. Agent something. I don't know.
I don't remember.
He looked terrible, and honestly, seeing how good they did with this, it's really interesting. Like,
yeah,
and they did enough. They didn't try to overdo it, and I think it was perfect. Man, he was so believable
for sure. Like this film. Man, I am for sure buying this on DVD, Blu-ray, whatever.
Yeah, I just want to have it.
I don't care if it's going to be on Disney Plus at some point. Like, I want a physical copy of this because this movie, it made me feel things.
Yes.
All right.
It brought you back, man.
It really did.
Yeah,
it really
crazy.
did. Like the moment, obviously, Doc Ock showing up in the film was shown in the trailers.
Yeah.
Okay, if you've watched the trailers, he enters the movie the same exact way. All right, that's when you first see him. But
he's coming. Yeah.
Even then, like on the bridge, seeing the claws like shoot out from like underneath the bridge through the concrete and all that, and like you can hear like the winding of the gears and all like the metal and all that. Oh man, it is. In the theater, it felt so good.
It felt
so good to hear it.
Dude, it was something I never thought I'd see. That Doc Ock with today's effects,
Yeah,
visual
for
effects.
sure.
Just nuts.
Yeah.
And like seeing them fight, I was like, this is fucking rad.
It's so I loved in Spider-Man 2, I love Doc Ock's design.
Yeah,
I love it with the coat and all the shades that he has and all that. Like it's always been a really cool design, and to see it with these enhanced CGI with the newer effects that we're able to do.
Yeah,
that technology has allowed us. Like it just looks even cooler. My goodness. And again, Alfred Molina, like the character, everything they did with him was fantastic. His dialogue, his help with just. I don't want to say he was he was used for exposition dumping, but he was definitely like the helpful villain, so to speak. He was,
yeah. And it was good to have him there too, because at the end of, Spider-Man 2, he was starting to get there.
Yeah, like out of all
he said he had his tentacles around his throat. So it was right before he turned good again.
Yes.
He came back, which is kind of interesting that he was like still kind of pissed off and he was basically kind of evil until he got cured, which is kind of cool too in this movie. Like,
correct.
Which is, I love that he's like constrained. That was really smart too. It's like I'm gonna confine him by using the nanotech that he took off my suit.
Yes.
Because we're in a different universe. Doesn't mean like it was a great way to make him less of a threat in the moment, so he could speak and be exposition. It was just smooth sailing. I never really thought like, oh, they're just talking. The movie's just telling me what I need to know. was just seeing him talk and be there, and it was fucking great because he was.
Yeah.
I love him being all just constrained. He's like, if I get out of here, I will kill you right now.
You could, like the whole time, even when he's like telling them information and helping them out, you could tell he is seething behind every word of like, I really want to kill all of you right now. Like nothing would make me happier than to just like choke every one of you out.
Yeah, which just rules so hard. Because he is very intimidating, and
absolutely, yeah. And this movie showed it too. Yeah. They made him like really look deadly. Not saying that Spider-Man 2 they didn't, but I don't know. There was just something with the fight scenes, with the chemistry between Tom Holland and Alfred Molina.
Yeah,
they just had this chemistry that was like when they were fighting, man, it looked fantastic.
Yeah, when they were even faces, everything.
But I will say, Willem Dafoe. He fucking killed it.
Oh my god!
Like when it came to being Green Goblin, when it came to be just Norman Osborn again.
God, yeah.
Oh my god, this dude.
He's untouchable.
He went full 100%.
Yeah,
yeah. You know? Like
he really
100%.
And I love that the Goblin is the most threatening character in this movie, which is perfect because he is. He's the thing is when so-and-so shows up, bad guy shows up, it might happen. Something might happen, blah, 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 But we knew, even from the first Sam Raimi Spider-Man, like, when the Goblin shows up, someone's dying quickly.
Yeah.
And that's why he's always been really scary, You can't trust the thing he says. He's fucking batshit insane.
Yep.
And he, like...
And this movie proved... See, with the first one... With the first Spider-Man film, there was this give and take, between when is it Green Goblin, when is it Norman Osborn, and all that. And this film, it still had that, absolutely. He still had the arguments with himself, he's arguing with the mask again and all that shit. But it really just made it clear that Norman Osborn is not here anymore. It really is the Green Goblin. He's just using Norman as a facade.
Yeah, like a vessel of some sort. And it was kind of cool that they kind of made that make sense. Part of me wanted it to be a little more gray, like it was in the other movie. Like, is he talking to himself or is it like an issue, or is there something separate from him?
I feel like if they brought less villains into this film, they probably could have spent more time on it, or maybe could have focused on it more. But I think they did a good job with. Yeah, they didn't want this movie to be like 5 hours.
And I like that they. Yeah, right. I like that they. The first thing he did was break his mask. That was super cool. It was like. So it's not the mask.
Exactly.
It literally is just inside you.
Right. At first you think, okay, maybe him finally breaking the mask, like maybe he really is changed.
Yeah. Totally.
Because he's a good guy for a long time in this film.
Yeah.
And then suddenly, you realize it was a devious
one of the best scenes in this movie.
Time.
The fucking spider sense something's wrong, and he's just walking around the house.
Yeah.
And dude, that sissy tingles. I'm just fucking goosebumps over here.
The way they filmed that, the effects and all that, and all the other villains are standing around him like Peter, what's going on?
He's like, I don't know.
What are you doing?
Literally just
and you could feel that all the other villains too are on edge about it.
Yeah.
Because they're like, well, normally we're fighting you, so are you about to turn on us, or like what is going on right now?
And that's the amount of evil that is inside Norman.
Yes,
for him to just like feel it, and I was just like, oh god, that was good.
Yes,
like such a good use of Spidey sense, and to show how fucking terrifying the Goblin is.
Oh, dude, their fight scene after that, after shit goes wild, all shit breaks loose.
Yes,
like the. Dude,
thing?
They go full WWE on each other. It is wild.
It's vicious.
It was so, I was giddy the whole time they were fighting.
Me too.
Actually, he's doing like fucking powerbomb pile drivers and stuff through floors and all. It looks so good.
Actually, I don't know how much of it, but he actually pushed to do as many of his own stunts as he could in this movie.
that was one of his stipulations of coming back as the Goblin. He was like, I want it to be I want it to be me as much as humanly possible.
Yeah. And dude, it's vicious. That fight is vicious.
It is.
Yeah. It's the hardest hitting
I
Tom
love how
Holland.
it transitions into him having like a more faithful costume change to like the
Yeah.
comics. You
Yeah.
know, now he has kind of the hood going on and
Well,
all that.
yeah, because
and,
it was like
and his
more like a hobgoblin kind of thing. Because the hobgoblin had that hood.
well,
and then
Green
the
Goblin originally had the hood.
Green Goblin.
Hobgoblin was just orange.
Really, I thought
Different storylines and like upbringing and all that. But Green Goblin, he used to have like the purple hood.
the purple hood. That's right. That's
Yeah,
right, that's right.
and so in this one, he had a purple hoodie on,
and that's
and
I
it
love seeing
slowly got shredded up to where it was just the hood.
And I love it that it's just like his face. This has been a joke since it came out. 20 years ago? Is the his face
Looks like a goblin.
looks like the goblin. He didn't need the mask.
That jawline, that wide smile. and
Oh
all
man,
that,
seeing
you
him
know?
actually be able to act with
even
that
his voice too.
I know.
It's like, oh man, like,
like
just
him
killed
being
it.
the threat.
Just
And
killed it.
That leads to the fucking turning point for this. We finally see Tom Holland's turning point.
Yes,
there.
It took 3 movies, but we finally got to the point to where he now he finally hears the infamous quote that Spider-Man hears.
And has a big loss in his life. Like those
It comes with a great
together.
loss. Yeah, it comes with a great loss.
With great responsibility. And also he says there must also come
great responsibility.
great responsibility.
Yeah, with great power must also come great
But actually,
responsibility.
the way she words it in this has a few more lines, and that's actually the original way it was in the comics. It's not with great power comes great responsibility.
Right.
It's with great power there must also come.
Great
Was the way it was worded in the comics way back when, which is really cool. They actually made it. So, man, they
Yes.
thought about everything, and it's like, and seeing Aunt May go was kind of it sucked. You know, it's like
It did suck, but you know,
Makes sense.
I thought it was perfect because
and the Goblin did it.
so far, yeah, I know, and the Goblin did it. Like the moment the glider flew through, I thought for a second like, oh, she just got hit by it,
Yeah,
like, you know, just like a bump,
yeah,
kind of thing.
That's kind of how they.
But it
framed
wasn't until like she actually dies where it's like, oh, she actually got like impaled or
like he
like, yeah.
like he did in the first movie. Fuck.
But no, this scene was important on so many levels beyond the film itself,
Mm-hmm.
because in all of Tom Holland's Spider-Man movies, like there's never actually truly been consequences to his actions.
Exactly.
There's truly never been consequences with Vulture and all that. Vulture survived.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like fighting
Mysterio
him,
was the
like
first,
all
like, kind of
people.
a little bit.
He, like Mysterio dies, but that was because like Mysterio literally gave Tom Holland no choice.
Yeah, and he killed himself essentially.
Precisely.
Yeah.
You know, and all that. Like there was never nobody that Peter knew, or Tom Holland's Peter Parker.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody he knew personally or cared about dies
Yeah,
in the first 2 films.
yeah, and I think Uncle Ben was someone he didn't really even know.
Yeah,
Like,
Uncle Ben was never even part of Tom Holland's universe.
The only thing we see
Like,
about that is
we only hear about him.
well, and he had a little bit of luggage with a BP on it for Ben Parker. I
Yeah,
think.
exactly. Like
And that's the only thing we hear about it.
he might have experienced loss,
Mm-hmm.
but we don't see it. We don't see those moments happening.
I think-
this was the first time where it's like he actually held someone that he loved and cared about, like, die in his arms.
And that's the thing about Spider-Man, man. Like Spider-Man is a very sad story.
Yeah,
Like-
with Tobey Maguire. Sorry, I'm talking over you. I apologize.
I'm talking over you too. We're excited.
Sorry, I'm realizing that a lot. But with Tobey Maguire's, yeah, Uncle Ben shot, killed. He's there, like bawling his eyes out, like please don't die, Uncle Ben.
Meme worthy.
You know, Andrew Garfield with Gwen.
Oh god.
You know, like that turning point. Like I couldn't save you. I couldn't do it. You know, like I'm not. You know,
I'm not good enough.
I can't. I'm not good enough.
I love that they address that. Like I'm gonna be he
We'll-
was vengeful.
We'll get to that in a sec.
Okay.
We'll get to that. Keep that in the back of your mind.
Okay, because I guess we're not there yet, huh? We're talking.
we're
this
not,
movie.
we're
We're
not.
actually doing a good job.
Sorry, I'm going to be completely honest, everybody. This quick take is not going to be a quick take because
No,
there's a lot
probably
in this
not.
movie I want to talk about because there's a lot in this movie that I absolutely love.
We're kind of taking it as we go,
So-
we might just talk the length of the movie, and then there you go. You
No,
can.
we're not going to talk for 2.5 hours. We are not doing that, I assure you. But there's so much to this film that everyone who was part of it did right.
Yeah, totally. So so where were we? Oh wait, M.A. dies.
Yeah, Aunt May dies.
And we feel the weight of that, man. And like seeing Peter just destroyed. And it was really not like a sexy death either. Like she didn't know she was dying. Really, she was in shock.
She was in shock, and she
really,
just bled out way faster than her body could like realize.
Really hard to see. Like the character you love like that, not going out with like, "You got this, Peter."
Right.
You know, it was like,
right.
No,
and again, it was a moment of like none of this would have happened if Peter would have just hit the button. If he would have let Doctor Strange do his thing,
yep,
Aunt May would still be alive.
Yep.
Peter knows this is my fault.
Yeah. Quickly.
Like in that moment, like sure, Willem Dafoe is the one, or no, Green Goblin.
Same thing.
Yeah. Green Goblin's the one who kills Aunt May.
Yeah.
But if Peter would have just gone with the plan from the get-go, Aunt May would still be alive.
Yeah,
and he has to live with that for the rest of his life. Mm-hmm. Even after this film, whatever future movies they do with Tom Holland Spider-Man, he has, that's going to be in the back of his mind.
Well, now he's Spider-Man. I think he finally got there.
I agree.
And it was cool to be with him during this, you know? It was really kind of neat to actually like, oh, what a fun romp.
Yeah.
Oh, now it feels like Spider-Man actually, not just Tom Holland, MCU Spider-Man.
Yeah, happy-go-lucky, homecoming,
times,
it's bad guys and we got some triumphant moments. Like,
go to prom.
Yeah, because like in the first in Homecoming, he does have that moment fighting Vulture where, he's like getting crushed, by
that is pretty good.
The cement and all that. Like that was definitely a moment of him.
Dark.
Yeah, it was a dark moment. But again, it didn't involve the loss of anybody.
No,
it didn't involve the death of anyone, yada, yada, yada. But it proved that, okay, he has the right to, what I don't know. What's the right way to describe it? Like he has a right to the throne of Spider-Man.
Yes.
He's proven that he has the right, but he is not yet there.
Yeah.
You are on this council, but we do not grant you the rank of master. Like that was that scene right there. You know, like he proved, all right, I've
I can hang with
quote unquote earned to wear the suit,
Yeah.
And he's figuring it out. But yeah, in this film is the moment where, he realizes this is what it really means to be Spider-Man. This is what it's like to truly be Spider-Man.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah.
And we'll just keep talking along the movie because honestly, I want to talk about the end really bad, but we should get there.
We'll get there.
Time,
we'll get there. Also, before we get to the next spot, I do want to say shout out to J.K. Simmons, who once again is always killing it, especially when he's Triple J.
Yeah, yeah. He's so much fun to watch. I was confused about what universe we were in with him, though, which was kind of confusing. I guess just both J. Jonah Jameson's look alike. Just one has no hair, maybe. It may be kind of like
pretty much.
Now I'm confused.
At this point, they're just letting J.K. Simmons do what he wants.
Yeah, it's like
JK, you want Triple J to look like that? Okay, cool.
He arrived
I don't know if that's actually what they've done.
He arrived on set one day, and they're like, "Oh, I guess put him in the movie. He wants to be in the movie. Put him in the movie." Probably.
All right, I guess he'll have a cul-de-sac in this one, And we were thinking more like Sam Raimi's Triple J. But, no. All right, fine. No. J.K. Simmons, phenomenal as always. Yeah. He's just a star actor.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Truly A-list.
Yeah.
The man deserves his place on Mount Rushmore.
Totally.
No. Let's see. Yeah, before we move on, I do want to give some nice shout outs to the other villains real quick before we really get Sandman, Flint. Or Clint? Clint. Sorry.
Clint Flint.
Oh no.
Clint.
All right, Sandman. I thought his introduction into this was really, really good too. His introduction into the film and all that.
Yeah, because he was on Spider-Man's side last time.
Exactly. They were actually like friends. Yeah, they fight. They have differences in like point of views and all that. But at the end of the day, they're cordial with one another.
Yeah, exactly.
At the end of Spider-Man 3, it's like, you know what? I am a bad guy.
Don't
You're a
chase
good
me,
guy.
I won't chase you.
But, at the same time, I just want to be with my daughter.
Yeah,
I just
exactly.
want to be a good father. You know, like
Yeah. So it was
exactly.
nice. It was
So
nice.
for him to show up fighting Electro and he's immediately helping Spider-Man, you know, and he's like, Peter, what's going on? You know, like he too is also like, I don't know what's going on, but I'm here to help you because let's figure this out. You
Those
know,
are
and the quick turn. Because again, Sandman is somebody who's grown up to not trust people. And so it was
Exactly, yeah.
very quickly to see that happen of like, wait a second, you're not the Peter I know.
Yeah.
What's going on here? What did you just do to
Yeah,
Electro?
yeah,
you know,
exactly.
like it
You're tricking me.
Yeah. The way that they were able to make him go from good guy to bad guy was like
Smart.
it took like 10 seconds and it was perfect.
Yeah, totally. And you believe it too, because you believe that character would do that. He's gun shy. He's like, nah. Like,
Right.
something's going on here that I don't like.
Right.
And I love the redesign for him because he wasn't, you know, it wasn't Thomas Hayden Church half the movie. It was literally a Sandman. Like,
yeah.
It wasn't the
Although
comics
a part of me was curious of just like, I didn't look at the cast before going into this film. But
You
I
were
was
curious if it
curious
was
of
actually the
like,
same guy?
yeah, was it actually going to be
Yeah. It took me a bit,
Thomas?
too.
Was it actually going to be him?
Yeah.
Because like 99% of this movie
He's
is
just
spent
sand.
as like the CGI Sandman.
Yeah.
You know, his voice for sure.
Yeah, that's when I started realizing it. Like, after he's talked a little more, I was like, that's not a good impression. That's him, you know?
Yeah.
Because he's kind of got this Californian thing going on a lot of the time.
Yeah.
You know? And it really bugs me when he's in another movie. But in this, he kind of held on to it a little bit.
Fair
which is
enough.
good.
Next up, Electro. I will say very well done on changing him to yellow instead of blue.
Yeah, actually looking like
he was
Electro.
blue before, and now he actually looks like Electro.
Yeah.
Even near the end when he shows up and they do like the starburst mask.
I love it.
You know, it's like a quick second,
Just the
but
electricity.
it's there.
Yeah.
It's there to like that homage.
Yeah.
You know, paying homage to, you know, traditional Electro.
Mm-hmm.
And all that was fantastic. Jamie Foxx did a great job.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he did a great job. You know, it's still
Jamie
like,
Foxx literally came in and played Jamie Foxx as Electro, and I was fine with it.
yeah, because to be fair, that's who Electro was, you know,
Yeah.
in The Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, but he was more nerdy, you know?
He was more nerdy, but
And then...
eh,
But again, I don't care. Like, and I think...
he
that's
wasn't.
something
It wasn't
you
that
know.
much more nerdy. You know, his character becoming Electro, yes,
But, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, before he was blue. He was
yeah.
super
But once
nerdy.
he became Electro, it was more Jamie Foxx.
Yeah, he got there, kind of.
So that didn't really bug me that much.
Mm-hmm.
And I know a lot of people. I see on the interwebs are asking like, wait, how did Electro know who Peter Parker was or that Spider-Man was?
It's been
Peter
talked about quite a bit, yeah.
You know, like a lot of people are like, is there a loophole and stuff? And I've looked into it a little bit because I had that question as well.
Same.
And with another character that we will get to eventually. But yeah, I guess from what I can tell, and to be honest, it makes sense to me, is Jamie Foxx himself kind of, or I guess Electro, explains it himself when he's talking about like when he got blipped into this universe. He was like, yeah, I was in the mainframe and I was collecting a bunch of data, you know, and yada, yada, yada. And then suddenly I'm here.
Yeah.
So I think the quote unquote closing of the loophole would be that when he was collecting all that data, you know, somewhere in those lines, you know, somewhere in whatever hard drive, what have you.
Yeah.
That's where he was able to find out that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. But that doesn't necessarily mean that he's able to immediately know what he looks like.
Yeah, that's why he had the line at the end. I thought you'd be black.
Yeah. So that's
So he knows his name.
exactly.
And
because
what I was thinking, and this is just a little theory of mine. I was like, well, maybe this isn't our Electro. Maybe it's a different one, you know?
it could be.
And that's
It could
kind
be
of
a
made
different
it
one.
easier for me to watch. I know it's like...
Well, no. Maybe.
I know he brings up a few things.
But that's the thing, yeah, because Andrew like calls him by name too, and he
yeah,
responds
but he also
and
has
all
the same
that.
name in different universe. I don't know. It made it easier for me. I was like,
that's true. I
he's
don't
so
know.
different.
Multiverse theory gets very convoluted.
yeah, you can
very
literally say
quickly.
whatever you want.
That is true. I mean, like fucking Rick and Morty.
Yeah.
You know, there's like 100 different types of Ricks.
That's crazy.
That's just like a small little tip of the iceberg.
Yeah, I love it.
Anyways, we're not talking about Rick and Morty. We're not smart enough for that.
No.
IQ is 50. Anyways,
Yeah.
but anyway, like that's what I think and believe as to like how Electro was able to know. Like because the spell itself is just anyone who knows Peter Parker is Spider-Man.
Yeah, that's it.
Is going to come here. Not
Don't even know
like,
what they look
oh,
like,
they've met you or they've had Sunday brunch with you or any. You know what I mean? Like it's if they know Peter Parker equals Spider-Man, they're here
There
or
was
they're
another
coming here.
theory, and it was that Gwen Stacy yelled Peter
Oh, that's right.
in that movie, like right around the time that he wakes back up. But I don't know if that was after or before he got blipped into this universe. But
Oh, that's true.
That's another thought.
I didn't even think about that.
Just
That
knows-
could have allowed him to like maybe connect the dots.
yeah, it'd be like, oh,
But not actually like
Yeah.
act on it. Kind of like, with Green Goblin going after Aunt May.
yeah.
Electro was like, maybe I'll think about that.
Right, I think that's kinda
But
what it was.
I've got other things to do and be blue. So
I need to be blue.
I must be blue.
And yeah, I like his redesign a lot, man. And I like using the arc reactor for his power.
Yeah.
The old,
yeah.
The old Tony Stark. It was like, that's really smart. That's really smart to use this in universe thing
Yep.
for him, and it was just so well done.
It had me asking a lot of questions because obviously the trailers, a lot of people pointed out like, yo, it's the arc reactor. Electro has the arc reactor, which made me go into like the thought process of, oh, did he kill Iron Man in his universe?
That's what I
or
was
something?
thinking
Like,
too,
did he
yeah.
kill Tony? Or you know what I mean? Like,
so he literally just took it from Peter. In
Turns out, yeah, he
In
literally
Happy's
takes it
apartment.
from Tom Holland and all that.
Yeah.
But it did get me wondering of like, oh man, that would be pretty wild.
Yeah.
Because if he shows up with it and Tom Holland sees it, he might lose his shit and be like, what did you do to Tony Stark or something like that?
Dude,
or,
it's so much fun to think about. I think it's just another one of those things where you're like, man, that'd be cool. But it's like, again, don't want it to be a 5-hour long movie.
True. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
I think this movie would still be good if it was 5
I'd
5
still
hours
watch
long.
it.
But
I understand. Yeah.
I can understand that it's a little much.
Yeah.
A little much for people. And then also Rice?
The lizard.
Yes, Lizard Man.
Lizard Man.
I think he did a great job too. They really, they didn't change him at all
No, not
from
one bit.
the Amazing Spider-Man. Even like the way he was thinking too. He was still just like, yeah, I am the next step in an evolution. Like,
Yeah.
this is furthering human evolution. Like what more do you want from me?
Yeah. He was great. I mean, he was just simple. He was a side character that was a threat.
Yeah.
when
And
first-
he had his moments and little quips.
yeah, he was great. Loved it.
So very good job to him. Not knocking him whatsoever.
No,
he just
no.
he
He served his role well.
Again, he was one of the more background villains.
Supportive. Yeah.
Supportive.
characters.
Supportive. That's a
Yeah.
better way to put it. Thank you.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, fucking killed it. Knocked it out of the park.
Absolutely. Oh yeah. Before we get even farther, I know I already did that to talk about Electro and yada yada yada. But shout out to Benedict Wong,
Yes.
playing as Sorcerer Supreme.
Yeah,
Wong.
he's Sorcerer Supreme now. That's hilarious.
off a technicality.
Off a technicality.
That's what happens when you're gone for 5 years.
Yeah. I love that. That's so smart.
Yeah, good old Benedict Cumberbatch
Always
coming
killing
back as Stephen Strange.
He did such a fun job this time.
Yes.
He is so coming into this character. Because Doctor Strange is like the puppet master around probably the next phase. Like he is kind of above everything.
Well, I mean,
And you saw the fucking stinger at the end.
Yeah, they do have Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness.
And I feel like he's gonna
in the future.
He's like the new kind of like Stark, I think, or new leaders, I think, in this next phase.
Yeah, he's going to be like the centerpiece to whatever storyline they go with.
I think so. Yeah.
Obviously roping in Elizabeth Olsen as
she's great.
Scarlet
Witch.
Yes, Scarlet Witch. So, I think those two are going to be doing a lot together.
I think we're going to see the X-Men in that movie.
So, you think so?
Fingers crossed.
That would be cool.
If they're showing me fucking Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield in this movie, that's already nuts, dude.
Jinx. No.
And I'm saying it's going to be Hugh Jackman. Fuck it. Come back. I miss you. The world, everything's possible now.
The only person who could convince Hugh Jackman to come back as Wolverine is Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool. I firmly believe that's the only person who can actually convince him to reprise the role one last time to show up in a Deadpool movie.
Honestly,
if
Deadpool might show up.
That ain't happening. Sure. Well, yeah, Ryan Reynolds for sure would. I'm sure he'd gladly show up in the MCU at some point.
He signed. They already got a movie coming out.
Oh, for real?
Yep.
Hell yeah, cool, good for him.
Yeah.
But yeah, if anyone's going to rope Hugh Jackman to show up as Wolverine one last time, it's Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
That's my firm belief. I don't know that for fact.
That'd be pretty funny. That'd be really funny, actually, if they did like a play on the multiverse with Daredevil.
That would be pretty sweet. I mean,
not Daredevil,
like clearly they're
Deadpool.
looking to bring those guys in again. Get John Bernthal.
Get John Bernthal.
Where's Luke Cage?
Yeah.
I know people didn't like Iron Fist that much, but
He's still a character.
Get him in there.
Get him in there. Come on, bring everyone in. Fuck it.
Anyways,
Oh man.
So let's see. Aunt May, she just died. Kicked the bucket. Great power, great responsibility.
And then he goes to sulk, and we go to see what's her face, MJ and Ned at their house, and Ned's a sorcerer now, which is fucking hilarious.
I mean, to be honest, I thought they explained it very well.
No, I think so too.
Jokingly, well, not from the audience perspective, it's jokingly, but clearly from Ned's perspective, like talking with his grandma and all that, he's like, I've heard that like we do have magic in our in our blood.
Can do it. And he's not great at it, but he does it.
He does it. And a lot of people are like, oh, well, that's plot convenience. I think it was because he had the ring.
Well, that's why, yeah.
He
took the ring, so you're good.
I just think that's something that a lot of people overlook and forget. Like, he has the ring that helps him.
Well, you see in the first Doctor Strange, there's a ton of people making these.
Yeah.
If they get the ring, they can do it.
Yeah.
So it's like, don't be hating on Ned. Ned fucking rules.
Yeah, exactly. He's a great character. Jacob Batalon. Batalon.
I don't know.
I'm sorry.
I've never heard his name.
Jacob Batalon. I think that's how you say his name. Phenomenal character.
He's
phenomenal
so funny.
actor. And of course, Zendaya as MJ.
Yeah.
Great as always.
I love that casting. Like, she really reshaped who MJ is for me.
Yeah. It's definitely it's not traditional with the comics.
It's not Mary Jane. What's her name? They finally said her full name in this movie.
Michelle Jones or
Michelle Jones.
Michelle something, I can't remember.
Or something like that. Yeah, that was awesome. I was like, that's cool. And Michelle Joan Watson. So she still has the same last name. It's definitely interesting.
Yeah. But yeah, they did a really good job.
And they're great.
Just really good
job. And in that scene, when they're together and they're like, oh, where the fuck's Peter?
Yeah.
And they start opening portals. Ned starts opening portals in his living room.
Yes.
And fucking... They find Peter. They find two Peters.
Okay, so when the first portal opened up on Spider-Man, on Peter, of course, like
we knew.
Everybody in the audience, everyone in the audience knew that. Okay, this is either Tobey Maguire or it's Andrew Garfield. It's one of them. But of course, like so obviously Ned and MJ are like, oh, it's Peter. It's Tom Holland, Peter. Like, hey, we're here. Come on, come over here. And as he. For like a split second, I thought that it was Tom Holland. Like, before he turned around and looked.
Me too.
Like, the moment he turned around and looked, I started nudging.
Those eyes.
Yeah, I started nudging Miranda again, like, oh my God, it's happening, it's happening. He's showing up.
Man. And he comes in, and he is so fucking charming. I forgot how much I liked his Peter Parker.
Yes.
I remember watching that.
Yes.
The first Amazing Spider-Man, I watched it in a drive-in movie theater. And I left and I was like, that was fine. But Andrew Garfield's Peter Parker was great.
Dude, I'm going to be straight up honest. Like, Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, for me, was like the star of this film.
I think he kind of was.
I know that sounds kind of wild to say because this is like Tom Holland's movie, so to speak. And like, obviously you've got Alfred Molina just absolutely killing it as Doc Ock. You got Willem Dafoe absolutely killing it as Green Goblin.
You even got,
what they did with Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, what they did for him, what he did as acting as the character too, it completely redeemed him. Like I see so many people are like walking around now saying like, you know what? Andrew Garfield deserves a third movie.
Well,
like,
it's funny.
So many people are
saying like put him in the Sony verse with Venom and Morbius and all that.
Yeah,
Morpheus. I don't know.
Morbius
and yeah. So I'd be okay with that.
Yeah, it's like, dude, Andrew Garfield. He and also with Tobey Maguire as well. Like they had the opportunity to phone it in. They had the opportunity to get a quick buck.
Oh, a lot of money.
Peace out. Some MCU money, Disney money.
Totally.
And then peace out.
And
they decided to go 200% with the assignment.
And it was so beautiful. Because, again, we're on Andrew Garfield still. So he was so charismatic when he came into the scene. And I was just like, and him with the kind of the MCU kind of humor just rolled so perfectly.
It did.
Oh, man.
Yes.
He was so delightful to see. And then they fucking bring in Toby from another portal, and he's wearing like a dad outfit, and he looks so much like
they make the joke, youth pastor or something like that. Yeah. Just like a youth pastor. You gonna fight him like that?
Oh, man. Like, he was so... I loved it because they were both so them. And it felt like seeing Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man again.
And that's the great thing too, is that like when they showed up, they didn't feel like they were different from their previous movies.
Not at all.
They were still 100% true to the characters that you see in the films. Mm-hmm. Just different because obviously time had passed.
Yep.
They make that very clear. Like, we're not seeing Andrew Garfield like right after The Amazing Spider-Man 2. We're not seeing Tobey Maguire right after Spider-Man 3.
Yeah, Tobey Maguire's like an experienced Spider-Man now.
Yeah, this is like we don't know how much longer passed, but
I think it's like I think we'll probably assume clearly, it's just 20 years. Like
clearly significantly passed. Yeah. I wouldn't say 20 years because Andrew Garfield still looks pretty young.
Well, from Tobey's time in his universe,
from Tobey's,
from the movies,
sure,
right?
Yeah, because obviously Tobey Maguire does look older, but he still looks great.
He looks awesome, and he did a great job.
Great.
And I don't know if he had to get in shape for this or what, but it was just like, damn, man, you actually look like a older Spider-Man, like someone who's been through the fucking ringer.
Yeah, and they stayed true to even their design with the spider suit.
When I saw those suits, when I saw Tobey Maguire's suit on screen, I was smacking Arya like on that arm and just fucking hitting her all over the place and. like his costume is so iconic. I don't think about it until you see it. And you're like, same thing with the fucking Amazing Spider-Man, Andrew Garfield. Mm-hmm. It looks so good.
Yeah, from like the color of the web linings on their outfits to even the spider emblem itself.
Yeah,
it's like they remain true. They didn't like all have them default to one or what have you. They each look different.
Yeah, and we could tell them apart quick.
Yeah, absolutely. Sure, like during some of the fights, it got a little hectic to like tell who's who, but when it came to like the three of them being together, it was so obvious who was who. Mm-hmm. It was. I mean, granted, a lot of scenes when they are together, they had their masks off, so that made it pretty easy. But
yeah.
But again, it's so important to just like acknowledge the director John Watts. Eric Sommers, Chris McKenna, Amy Pascal, Kevin Feige,
all these people.
These people, and I apologize if I'm like forgetting you. But like the people who were part of this process, the creative process of designs and like storyboard, looks, all that stuff. Yeah. Like 10 out of 10. Yeah. Well done.
I'm surprised it was as good as it was. I thought it was going to be a romp and a really good time.
For sure.
I'm very surprised it was as good as it was.
Yeah, I think this movie, the odds of this movie failing were very low.
There's no way it could fail.
We're very low. Even if Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire phoned it in,
I
still think people would still have enjoyed this film. Mm-hmm. And sure, like
easy,
the quality would have dipped. Absolutely.
But we'd still be talking about it as pretty much excited as we are
But
now.
I think people would still be loving the shit out of this film. But again, like it's just...
Everything came together.
Everyone just put their best effort into this.
Yeah. Fucking beautiful.
Everyone did. There wasn't a single person who like was dropping the bag.
Yeah.
Like not even Lizard Man. You know,
the Lizard Man.
Even with him, with like the least amount of like screen time or character, you know, with dialogue and all that, he still did a phenomenal job. He still did great with his lines.
Yeah, I don't know what they fucking paid these people and or bribed them with to do so good, but they were awesome. And seeing,
well, they better have paid him well because the budget was $200 million.
It's in the billions now, isn't it?
And their gross income, as like last I looked, which was either early this morning or last night, they were at like 1.3 billion.
They are at the billions.
Yeah,
they're like one of the highest grossing. It's one of the highest grossing movies, like opening weekend.
Yeah,
ever.
And you know what the craziest part is? They didn't even have China to help them out.
They didn't?
No.
What? Really?
I don't think they've been showing this in China.
Whoa! Really?
I'd have to double check that.
All right.
But last I heard, they've successfully grossed all this money without China.
That's insane. It's hard to believe. Fucking A. Anyway, but that's fucking nuts, man. And it deserves it. It was so much fun.
Yes.
That's how you make billions of dollars, though. You bring back favorite characters and...
Yep. Oh, also, before I forget, I do want to give a quick shout out to Tony Revolori, who plays Flash Thompson. You know, the one who like makes a book about being Spider-Man's. Yeah. His character is like the actor does such a great job of making his character just unbearably annoying.
Yeah. It was great too because Flash was always like the big bully in every other comic book, in the fucking movies. Flash is always the bully and the big dude. And MCU's like, no, we're just gonna make him like a slimy douche.
Exactly. They still made him a bully to an extent, but in a completely different way.
Yeah,
not just a jock.
Yeah.
You know, this kid was like, no, I've got clout, I've got popularity in the school, and I'm gonna use that to make you feel like shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Basically. You know, completely different style. And like shout out to Tony. You did a great job.
Yeah.
Thank you for just like
being someone
going all out with this character. It's so funny. In all three movies too. In all three movies, he's done a great job.
I like seeing the teachers too, just one scene, but they always crack me up in these movies.
Hannibal Buress was so
and Hannibal
funny.
Buress in this, man.
It's like, you killed Mysterio. Come on, man. Hey, hey, don't say that. But he did though. He did. It's like, oh, that was so great.
Yeah,
that was great.
Those three are just so funny together.
God, this movie is fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury.
I know, right?
Please watch this film.
Please watch it.
Even though we're spoiling the shit out of it right now, you should still go see it in theaters while it's still in theaters.
Yeah, it's worth it. It's so worth it. It feels like you're a kid again, man.
Hey guys, this is Mike from Filmabuster. We got a new podcast up every week, so give us a like, share, and subscribe to the channel while you're at it.